Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Halluf, and it's under the command of Dave73. Yes, probably one of the Daves that supplies replays to Mighty Jingles. He does have a lot of Daves, doesn't he? Okay, 105mm light field howitzer, the most mass-produced artillery piece by the Germans during the war. It was very accurate, and they also put the 105s in a lot of other vehicles as well. Not exactly the same one, because of course they had slight differences. Okay, well, he's aiming at the Panzer III Aslains outside of the valley. That was very close, but not on target. Okay. Fires another one in. Nope. Now, these shells are capable of doing 410 alpha, 53mm pen, which is a lot actually. Very big. 1.91 meters on the burst radius as well, so you only need to get it fairly close and you will do some damage. Okay, fires in advance of this A43. T-34 replacement never came about. Direct hit. Oh, and he went down from the next one, and I think he got the damage assist off that because he probably tracked the guy. Okay, looking towards the center of the map, the hill. Well, it's not the center of the map actually, but can't get a shell in there. You can get it a little further forward. That VK 2801105 is testing the center line. Now, he ought to know, because there's an enemy Arty firing on our guy in the center. Mind you, that's a bishop. Would tend to indicate that the bishop's fairly close. It's a short-range Arty, so for him to get the rounds that close, he had to be, well, very close. That was a penetrating shot on the Studzianki Aslains. Can he do it again? Rounds out. And he looks away, so he did kill the Stug, but he looked away at the last moment. I'm not going to rant on. I'm just going to point out, Dave, you've had your warning. Rounds out the Panzer III, and he gets him this time. 136. Now, there's that VK. Now, he is testing things, because we can get a shell in there. You can see he's teasing the line over the target to actually see where he breaks the red line, or breaks the line to cause it to go red. If he does, then he's interrupting the fall of shot. And that means there's a good chance he will connect with that target. That was a direct hit. No explosion indicates a direct hit on a blind target. Just missed it on the box tank there, but you can see he's already lost over 100 hit points, in fact about 130. Okay, give it another go. Just as he backs up, he'll drive into the shell. Rounds out. Yep. Perfect. 179. This Arty will peck you to death. It really does have a habit of doing that. It's because it can fire so quickly. The standard reload by the book is 8.92 seconds, but you can see here Dave actually has a reload of 7.56, so he has knocked 1.5 seconds off the reload time. Again, another A43, another T-34 replacement, never came about. He keeps chasing the target. Now that's a mistake. What you should be doing, and he got it right the second time, you pick a fixed spot and let the target drive over that spot, and that's when you fire. You don't chase the target, because if you chase it, you'll constantly be adjusting your aim, and your aim won't be fully dialed in. What you want to do is you want to pick a spot where you think the enemy tank's going to go through that spot, and then dial in fully on that spot, and then wait for the enemy tank to drive up to it. And in fact, he's done that now. He's found a spot where he thinks the enemy tank's going to go. He fired a bit prematurely there. He didn't know that the KV was going through that spot, but you can see that KV1, so he's going directly for it, and he gets a hit, 197. The KV-1SA is now moving closer to that target. You can see the impact point, and he was getting closer and closer. There's that box tank. Now he's backing away from one of our guys. Pick a spot, let it dial in, and there you go. That's how it's done. Yes, if you want to learn how to do Arty, then it's a good channel to be on, our channel. It's really all about using your brain and working out exactly what the enemy is going to be doing next, and then effectively hitting them with a shell when they go ahead and do it. You could say we are prognosticators, and that means we actually work out what's going to happen in the future. We're not, that's not a rude word by any way, but no, Arty players can predict what actually happens, and he's just predicted that Jackson would move forward, and he got it absolutely right. But now we've got problems, because a chappie's turned up, and he's firing his 76mm into us. Oh! A shotgun at close range, and the chappie is no more. But there's still an Arty in the game. He doesn't know how close that bishop is, but the bishop will know where he is now, so he needs to move away from the firing position. But the enemy is getting close. The crocodile's gone down. There's only 3 enemy left. 2 of those are over on the east side of the map. The only one near him is the bishop, but he's too far away to actually get any shots in. We're firing at the Hellcat long-range shot. Misses because he backs away enough. We'll get another round in. Nope, we don't need to. And the last tank is this Hellcat. He's almost at maximum range. Well, he was at maximum range, because when the reticule gets flat, then you know you're at maximum range. You can see that. The bishop has gone, by the way. The AMX-13 FL11 got him. So this is the last enemy tank. He fires a blind shot. It wasn't fully dialed in, so the shell was kind of erratic in terms of it actually went quite some way away from the aim point. And now, we can take a guess where the Hellcat's going to be, because obviously he's gone behind those bushes. He doesn't want to be spotted, so he's more than likely going to be behind them. You can see Dave has moved a little to get closer to the target, and as the reticule's bouncing around, he's moving even closer. You can always tell when you're in motion if the reticule does that, when it dances at the other end, when you're not looking at the actual vehicles itself. Now, all he needs to do is suppress the fire from that Hellcat by keep pumping those rounds in where he thinks the guy might be. One of those shells might contact the target, and then he'll get a hit. Now, they're indicating on the minimap where they think they should go. I think it's the Hellcat on our team is actually saying that. He's saying go up the top of the map, the north side of the map, and make your way east. But there's the Hellcat. He was behind the bushes just so he could see what he was shooting at, and now he's backing away. Now, can we get a shot in? Aim behind him. That's it. Oh, and we were denied another kill, but Dave did manage to get a Top Gun. Well, that was a good battle for Dave73 and the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a first-class tanker out of that game. In fact, that's the first-class tanker he's ever had in the PP. So I suspect that he hasn't played it very much, or maybe not much on this account at the very least. But yes, it is a very good Arty to play. In fact, you are capable of doing huge amounts of damage on the enemy, and most Arty players will be able to get their first class fairly quickly. The ace tanker is where it becomes difficult. If you haven't, you need to keep playing it for a lot to get your first ace tanker. In fact, it took me about 2 years, I think, to actually get my first ace tanker. And I was lucky enough that it was in a tier 7 game with a tier 5 Arty. So I was hitting higher tier opponents all the time and earning very, very high XP. I also, you can see Dave managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 13. And he also got a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, he did get 6 exactly. 2/5 of the enemy team. His win rate in that battle, 6,138, which is Super Unicum standard. And I guess the best kill is technically that Chaffee. Yes, because he nuked him at very close range, even when the guy was trying to cut across the front of the tank, which is what you're supposed to do. If you want to avoid being taken down by an Arty, keep moving sideways past his gun so that you can actually force him to turn. Because whilst he's turning, his reticule be fully dilated, it'll be difficult for him to get an accurate shot. But of course, the closer you get to an Arty, the more likely that it won't matter if the shell lands anywhere close to the target, it will still damage the attacking tank. So even if your little light tank is moving very quickly around an Arty, it might come a cropper all the same. Anyway, let's have a look at the team scores and see where he was. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. The highest damage went to this player, who's obviously an unknown tank. I suspect that this is a crocodile, because obviously at that point they hadn't been fully updated in the database. So he managed to get 2,131 hit points of damage. Second highest damage went to Dave73 with 2,010. And the third highest damage, well, that went to an A43, who only managed 1,177. When it came to kills, it was Dave. Yes, 6 kills to him, 3 kills to the Hellcat on his team, the one that survived, and 2 kills went to the T78, the Crocodile, the A43 on the enemy team, and their Hellcat. And when it came to base XP, Dave's the only one in it. He's got 1,035. He's the only player to get over 1,000. The next highest being the Jagdpanzer IV, and after that, it was the Crocodile on the enemy team with 652. Now, he fired 34 rounds, and you get 50 rounds, which means obviously he had 16 spare at the end of the game. 13 direct hits on the enemy, 4 penetrating shots, and 16 splash. Now, how did he fare with these penetrating shots? Well, I suspect that the Chaffee was definitely a pen. It wasn't. He got him with a shotgun, but it wasn't penetration. But he did penetrate the Studzianki Aslains twice. Now, that was the one where the guy was sitting there looking towards the northeast corner, but he wasn't shooting, or northwest corner. But he got him with the first shot, and then he fired and looked away. And yeah, please don't do this on this channel, because if you look away, then we have to discard replays that do that, because obviously our players, our viewers rather, want to see the enemy tank destroyed. So yes, if you look away, then we have to throw your replay away. 136 hit points there on the Panzer Die Aslains. That was a penetrating shot, and it looks to me like the Jackson was. Yes, 500 hit points on that one. That was another penetrating shot, and that was it. Yes, no other penetrating shots in that game. But he did get 2,010 hit points of damage, of which 1,941 were at more than 300 meters. Received 1 hit. It was a penetrating shot. That was from the Chaffee. And he was lucky he didn't receive many more, because, of course, the Chaffee can do about 115 hit points, I think. It's 76mm main gun. And so it wouldn't take more than 3 shots to take him out of the battle. And 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, 6 were killed. So nowhere near a Confederate, but he didn't need to worry about that. He got the Top Gun instead. On a free-to-play account, he actually made 55,320 credits from that game. And that's pretty good. Very good, actually, considering that he actually, on a free-to-play account, you only get the base amount. Look at that with the premium. He would have had 70,000. And yes, he did get a 30,000 credit bonus for mission completion. And he also took away 2,346 experience points out of that one as well. So a very good game for his first class in the 105 leFH18B2. But I'd say keep practicing, because then as soon as you get the ace tanker, there's a great deal of satisfaction of earning that, because you really can affect battles. You can win battles with an Arty like this if you can get an ace tanker. It's so easy to do it, because, well, it is an OP artillery. But in fact, it's one of only 2 premium Artys in the game. There's only 2, because Wargaming are too much of a pussy, I would say. They're too chicken that they don't want to put more Artys in the game, more premium Arty in the game, or even ordinary Arty in the game, simply because the tank players would be very angry if they did. But it's really, they're being pussies, because there's a huge amount of money to be made from having premium Arty in the game. In fact, just about everyone in the game probably already has one of these, and if they don't, they've probably just joined the game recently. but it's a great fun little machine to play, and it earns credits hand over fist as well. So yes, definitely worth getting one of these. Very good game by Dave73. Now we do have a second replay also in the PP, so let's have a look at that one. Well, we had no countdown in this one. You're looking at the 105 leFH18B2 owned by Targy of 3RTR. Now, it sometimes happens nowadays that you'll get absolutely no countdown at all, but that doesn't worry, so long as the replay will play with sound, because some of them won't. We get a lot of replays where we have to restart the replay to get the sound into the game, into the recording. Okay. Now he's got the same 105mm light field howitzer. And you can see trees going down, so somebody is moving towards the factory. But he's now got a red line, which meant something was in the way. I think it was the towers, the power plant with the smokestack. Got a little looks down there. Tier 5 game with Tier 4 tanks. So he's top tier, but he might be able to get around into the factory. Oh, now that's interesting, because the enemy Arty is a Bishop and an SU-122, and I just saw a shell coming from very close by, which suspiciously looked like an Arty shell. So I suspect the Bishop has actually moved fairly close to the factories. He might be behind those trees there. So, oh, there's one of the Artys, the SU-122, I suspect. But I have the suspicion that the Bishop is actually behind that tree line there. There's the M8A1. Oh, he's not. He's actually slightly to the right. Okay, no, that was a bit too close. He's a bit further back. You can see where the fires on the ground are. No, he's a little further back than that. A bit further back again. He's marking the ground, looking in that general direction. Okay, so we've got an AMX CLC sitting in the copse at the north of the map. And that shell landed where he was, but it didn't actually get a hit. Okay, missed on that occasion. Okay, the enemy have gone into the cap area. Obviously, this is an encounter game, so it's all about the cap in the center. That was very close to landing in the M8A1, and it's so easy to take these guys out. Very thin armor on M8A1s. He seems to be missing a rescue. There you go. Got it back this time. Very close again. And the enemy's moving forward into the cap. Okay. I think he's finding it very difficult to get a shot on these tanks, mainly down to the fact that there are obstructions in the way. Okay, should be able to get the Matilda. Lands close to him for 38. Strodny Viz 39 needs to pull back. We could be able to take out this KB, retract him at the very least. I'd definitely select the heat rounds. Oh, well, he got him with the standard HE instead. Okay, looking to the north, the AMX actually come out of the copse, and he's trying to spot on our guys. And it seems he's doing rather well, because he just took out a Studzianki Aslains G. But he has been now killed, and it was the Electo that got him in the end. Meanwhile, they've got a Studzianki Aslains G up in the copse. Oh, that was a penetrating shot. 423 hit points. So that one's going to go into the buildings. Okay, Studzianki Aslains G again. Oh, and he looks away. So yes, don't look away, because if you do, we can't see the target get hit. Well, he certainly frustrated the Stug enough that he got evicted. Okay, the AEC's moving up to the cops, trying to get our AEC, our AMX rather. Lot of destruction going on in the center. The ELC seems to be moving up where he really shouldn't be more careful. He's trying to get close to the cap circle. All the enemy cappers have been wiped out except that Matilda, who went through the cap and has gone out the other side. And he's trying to stop our guys, but he's very badly damaged. The AEC suddenly turns up, chasing the aim. Lands that one near him. That guy's just moving about on one track. Of course, he's a wheeled vehicle. That was close. Wheeled vehicles tend to move forward and backward on the same spot so they can maintain their accurate shots. It's the Bishop that's gone into the cap now. Well, the SU-122A has gone down. There's only 4 enemies remaining. And Targy's decided to actually go in and attack the enemy face to face. Well, he wants to make it a battle of the Artys. That might not be a good idea because he might take damage from the enemy tanks that are nearby. The Bishop may be in the cap area, but there's an MH-A1, and he'd be much better off taking out that MH-A1 from further away. The Scott, it's a very lightly armoured vehicle. He was looking at the AEC again. You see how he's moving backwards and forwards in a straight line, which makes it basically easy to actually fire around him and hit him, but you've got to take into account he's a fair distance away, 1.8 seconds, so you're firing ahead of his track. That wasn't on target because it wasn't fully dialed in. And Targy keeps changing his aim. He's jiggling all over the place. Well, they've got 2 in the cap area now, the Bishop and the M18-1. And now both teams have 4 tanks left. Yes, I think his team rather let this get away from them because they had almost a certain victory and they had quite a few tanks still alive, but now all of a sudden they're on equal numbers. Difference is that Targy's team have 2 Arty and the enemy team only has the Bishop. Here comes the M18-1. He's going north. He's coming around. Well, the Bishop can probably see us now. Yes, he does see us. But he's not looking at us. And there's one shotgun to take him out of the game. Now, the M18-1's coming back. We're loaded. And he gets a big hit, but we are going to take shots from that M18-1 now. And that's 2. And the M18-1 goes down to the AMX ELC. It kind of saves us, so we took 2 hits. And we do have 2 kills. And, well, we have lost quite a few hit points. You know what that means? Possible Stark's medal. There's only 2 enemy remaining now. One of those is over the other side of the battlefield. It's the AEC. But the other one is a Studzianki, not Studzianki, it's Studzianki, the premium tank, the reward tank. Now, it's better for Targy to actually stay in the cap and let them come to him now. So it'll be much easier for the shotgun. There's 2 in the cap anyway. It's not the only one. So yes, wait for them. He's trying to build a barrier there, a barricade, to stop the enemy trying to get an easy shot on him. But he's actually kind of parked in a position where the enemy can shoot on him if he gets close enough. And the AEC is the other side. Yes, you can definitely see, but he goes down. And he was taken out by the AMX ELC on our team, who seems to be, well, he's got the 90mm gun, which means he's very powerful, actually. That 90mm, restricted in its forward movement and its arc of fire, but it is actually a very powerful gun. Well, we're 10 seconds away from winning the game. Oh! Now he just received a hit, and the ELC goes down because the Stug is actually the other side. He went all the way round, and now our Bishop's being fired on. He's lost hit points. Oh, and he gets another shotgun to take down the Stug and win the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second class tanker for targy of 3 RTR in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 7. And he did get a Stark's medal for surviving at least 2 hits from the enemy and losing potentially 2/3 of his hit points, getting at least 2 kills on the enemy and surviving the battle. And yes, he did that in style because he actually had 2 shotgun instances, one on the Bishop and then the other one on the Stugfear. His win rate from that game was 4,409, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game because that went to the KV-1 Shielded with 2,002 hit points of damage. Second highest was targy with 1,485. And third highest was the Panzer III Aslains J, who managed 1,411. When it came to kills, though, he did get the top or share it with other players. He managed to get 3 kills, so did the Panzer III Aslains J and the AMX ELC in his cap area. And on the enemy team, the KV-1 Shielded was the only other one with 3 kills. And when it came to base XP, he's actually got the highest with 894. 830 went to the KV-1 Shielded, and 800 went to the Panzer III Aslains J. So he got the top in 2 columns, missed out on the highest damage. He fired 34 rounds, so he still had 16 left at the end of the game. Got 7 direct hits on the enemy and 3 penetrating shots and 9 splash. So can we find out which ones he actually penetrated? Well, I would have thought the Bishop was penetrated, and yes, it was. 284 hit points from that shot. I would have thought yes, he penetrated that Stugfear as well. 470 hit points and 1 penetrating shot as well. Did he penetrate any of the others? Well, looking at this, I think he must have penetrated 1. The Stugfear Aslains G. He got 423 hit points of damage from a penetrating shot. That was the guy who was up in the copse in the north of the map. And yes, he got 1 big shot in there, but he didn't get the kill because the guy was chased away by one of our teammates in the AMX ELC. Anyway, going back to the detail, he managed 1,485 hit points of damage, of which 570 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see a lot of damage was done at close range. He did receive 4 hits from the enemy. I thought one of the shots actually hit the gun, but in fact it went through the gun's shield and it counted as a penetration. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, so missed out on a Confederate. 148 hit points of damage assistance in the game. He got 3 capture points and 23 defense points when he reset the cap. So the Panzerfear must have picked up the capping points whilst they were sitting in there. On a premium count, he actually made 81,841 credits from the game, including a 65,000 bonus for mission completion and 3,218 experience points out of it as well. Always nice to see Arty taking the lead at the end of a game where their teammates are falling like flies. Arty comes in, saves the day by getting into the cap and forcing the matter to an end by making the enemy come to them. I really was surprised that that Stugfear actually went all the way round and came at them from the other side. And I think targy was surprised as well because he put that barricade of the dead tank up to try and stop the enemy getting at him. But unfortunately, he didn't realize that the Stug was actually going to come in from the other direction. So yes, he at least he got warning that the Stug was there because he saw the ELC go down. Then he saw the Bishop take fire, and then he took fire as well. Hope you enjoyed both those replays. Both had decent shotguns in them. If you did enjoy the replays, please give the video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.